Hey, hey, hey. Happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, shockingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard, everyone. Tonight is Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. This is live stream 1246. If you're not familiar with the show, let me point out, super casual around here. We'll normally discuss the latest in tabletop gaming news. We normally skew very heavily towards role-playing games, but as we will tonight, we talk about other things too. And I will normally share a first look at a game. Sometimes I might tackle a topic related to our hobby or just chew the fat with chat after I do the news. But tonight, we're going to dive on in because it's the spooky season around here. And I'm trying to focus on games that have maybe a bit of a horror vibe to them, or maybe they are out and out horror games. And tonight, we're going to dive on in for a first look at Black Powder and Brimstone from Free League Publishing. And of course, stay tuned. I will tell you how you can get into the running to win a copy of this in PDF. I will be giving away one copy to a lucky viewer, and I will talk about the contest a little bit later. I'm also going to mention I will reveal the winner of last night's contest after I tackle the news. Now, of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And then, of course, because this is a live show, there is chat available. You must be a subscriber to the channel for at least an hour before you can take part in chat. So if you've been, a subscriber for 60 minutes or more and you're hanging out live and you want to say howdy, maybe get a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my very best to respond. First out the gate tonight is Kevin King. Mike is with us, as is Wallona's Cave and Chris Lundgren. And I will take a guess, our friend of the show, the Madman, might be recuperating from his Tigers win today to stay alive. Yes. Cubs are in the midst of trying to stay alive right now. They were winning 4-1. It was 4-3. And then Milwaukee had a runner on second with nobody out, and it was time to start the show. So I will take a wild guess. Milwaukee has probably at least tied it up. Ay. Chris Lundgren says they just got their copy of Gangbusters BX and the setting guide. It's awesome. Well, very cool. The creator of it never reached out. So I know they hung out in chat once or twice. Guess they didn't like the show. Didn't want to get coverage from the Gaming Gang. I mean, that's fine. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. No Limelight Productions is with us. Sarah D., I should say the lovely and talented Miss Sarah D., is with us. She is our only chat moderator on hand tonight, at least to this point. So behave. Otherwise, she's going to conk you with that glittery banhammer. Sarah D. said, stuck with a shadow moderator tonight. We'll be adding glitter to the banhammer. There you go. I told you it's the glittery banhammer. All right, let's jump on into the news because I've got quite a bit tonight. First off, the miniatures game Dragon Rampant is receiving a second edition. It's arriving this month, and I've got the lowdown from Osprey Games. A revised and updated edition of the popular Dragon Rampant rule set. Whether you're a nameless dark lord looking to conquer the known world, a champion of light holding out against the forces of evil, or a northern barbarian facing claimants to a stolen throne, Dragon Rampant 2nd Edition allows you to bring those battles to the tabletop in this easy-to-learn but tactically rewarding fantasy wargame. Dragon Rampant 2nd Edition, I keep wanting to say Dragon Rampart, but it is not. It is Dragon Rampant. And funny enough, it's because when Lion Rampant came out, that was the same thing, kept popping in my head. It's like, oh, Lion Rampart. No, it's Rampant. Anyway, this is a new updated edition of the hit Osprey Wargame series title, where miniature agnostic large-scale skirmish rules bring the great battles of fantasy fiction to the tabletop, featuring revised core rules, substantial additions to the magic and unit upgrade sections, as well as extensive sample army lists and a range of scenarios. Dragon Rampant 2nd Edition allows players to command unruly orc war bands, raise armies of the undead, campaign across an antediluvian world as the war chief of a barbarian tribe, or exploit the power of mighty creatures and extraordinary sorcery. The 232-page hardcover is going to arrive on October 23rd. It'll carry an MSRP of $35. The PDF, or if you want to go with the Mobi or EPUB editions, those will run you $24.50. Captain Infinity Time Travel Police is with us. Says Lion Rampant is a heraldry term, they think, which would make sense because that is the original game that this is built off of. It is sort of the, I don't want to say age of chivalry, but it is like the knights in shining armor sort of era. And I do believe that it is a fictional sort of game world. I don't think it's looking to, with the Lion Rampant 2nd Edition, I don't think that was looking to, simulate history or anything like that. Gotta say, the original game won an Ennie. So Lion Rampant won an Ennie back in 2023. I want to say is the best miniatures rules system of that year. Kind of surprised it's taken them this long to get a 2nd edition out for the fantasy version of it. Kind of wild. Kind of wild. Mike says that people in chat are a rowdy bunch. That's right. That's right. That's how we like it. Moving right along, now available in print and PDF from Blackoath Entertainment, is the 2nd edition of Rift Breakers. Here's what I know. Rift Breakers strives to deliver the immersive experience of a massively multiplayer online role-playing game right on your tabletop. Explore a strange yet familiar world. Embark on randomly generated quests. Delve into challenging rifts. Discover powerful loot. Master intricate crafting and develop your character in meaningful ways, all without the need for a game master. Rift Breakers is a complete toolkit for adventurous high fantasy storytelling. This 2nd edition refines and streamlines the gameplay of the first, offering intuitive D100 skill system core mechanics, which are simple. Roll equal to or less than your skill to succeed. Difficulty is easily adjusted by modifiers. There's meaningful character progression as characters grow in power through the acquisition of powerful loot and the improvement of skills. Rolling doubles on a skill check allows you to mark it for potential improvement with hundreds of different items to loot. You'll be progressing every single session. There's also a deep crafting system. Don't rely solely on drops. Gather resources and utilize various kits, such as alchemy, blacksmithing, cooking, and so forth, to create the gear and consumables you need to survive. There's a world waiting to be explored, from the desperate pleas of Karhelos to the dangers lurking within rifts and the mysteries of the surrounding regions. Cathor offers you many ways to experience all sorts of adventures. The quest system, fully procedural, ensures that you want to go out and explore, for you will be handsomely rewarded. Face a wide array of monsters, from cave trolls to underworld dragons, each with their own unique action table, so you never know what they'll be throwing at you next. Enemies all adapt to your party's power level, ensuring they always pose a threat. Utilize random tables for quests, NPC interactions, including personalities, natures, and actions, and even landmark generation to fuel your solo adventures. Of course, all these tools can be used by a game master to run a game on the fly with no prep work. This is also ideal for West Marches style campaigns or for the forever GM. With a gameplay loop centered around completing quests starting from the city of Karhelos, it is extremely easy to play a drop-in open table campaign. With Rift Breakers 2nd Edition, the forever GM, yeah, you're looking at one, will get the chance to finally join their players as one of the adventurers. Furthermore, there is seamless transition from solo to co-op play. Play solo at home and then use the same character to meet up with your friends and play together. The 340-page standard color hardcover with PDF can be had over at DriveThruRPG for $50. If you want to get the Primo color edition, it is $65. If you want to get the PDF loan, you can do so for $20. Gotta say, sounds interesting. Blackoath Entertainment releases a lot of stuff. They really do. There's like umpteen games that are out from them. Pretty wild. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see, Troy Cornelson. Why did I start to say Cornelson? Actually, the strap for my camera is kind of blocking out chat today. I'll have to fix that when we go to our brief intermission. Yes. Yes, so Kathy Evans is with us. Troy Cornelson is also hanging out, as is Sean O'Donnell. Roger Perdome is also hanging with the gang. Very nice. Very nice. Let's move on to our next news piece, because Modiphius Entertainment has teamed with Bundle of Holding for a special offer featuring Achtung Cthulhu 2D20. I got the deets on the deal. Adventurer. This all-new Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 bundle presents, well, you guessed it, Achtung Cthulhu, the 2D20 system tabletop role-playing game from Modiphius, of cosmic horror amid the chaos and heroism of World War II. Enter a pulp action world of dauntless Allied heroes, secret agents, and mysterious mystics as Allied service men and women, secret agents, members of the French resistance, or even hapless citizens caught up in the secret war. All stand firm against the Nazis and their twisted occult forces, including the cult of the Black Sun, who wield foul magic and summon ancient horrors in their bid to unleash Yog-Sothoth, and Nachtwolf, who research weird science and super weapons. Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 immerses you in a hidden globe-spanning conflict for fast-paced, two-fisted adventure. Explore ancient ruins and ride drilling machines at top speed through terrifying tunnels filled with fanatical cultists, cray scientists, and deep ones. Peer into tomes of eldritch knowledge and wield powerful magic and potent psychic powers. Punch brain-sucking horrors in the tentacles. I did say tentacles. Laugh in the face of reality-warping nightmares. Grow in power, gain experience, and develop new skills until you're ready to face down the mind-shattering master of Valais, Dread Cthulhu himself. For just $14.99, You'll get all 4 rule books, source books, and play aids in the rules collection, which has a retail value of $65.60 as DRM-free PDFs, including the complete Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 Player's Guide and the Game Master's Guide, along with the Resistance Campaign Sourcebook, Viva la Resistance, and the 2D20 GM Screen and Toolkit. And if you pay more than the threshold price of $30.88, which was this morning, I'm sure it's changed a little bit, you'll level up and also get the entire Operations collection with 9 more campaigns, adventures, and play aids worth an additional $97.50. You'll get 3 full-length campaigns, Shadows of Atlantis, the 2D20 edition, The Serpent and the Sands, and Forest of Fear. 3 short operations, Operation Vanguard, Assault on the Führer Train, and the Makongjwa Egg. Plus gaming tiles, Secret War documents, and the Plotting Cthulhu Dossier. All these savings will run through October 27th. You may recall I reviewed some Achtung Cthulhu 2D20, including the core books. I like the system. I know a lot of people out there don't really come to grips with 2D20. They find it kind of odd. I mean, it's fine. It's still, you're rolling 2 20-sided dice instead of 1 20-sided dice. Okay. So it's like, all right. Oh, you can also end up rolling more than 2 20-sided dice. The one thing that I mention about role-playing games such as this that are set during a historical point, your hands are kind of tied as far as adventures go. Otherwise, you're going to throw everything off. So if you were a game master and you were running all of the various different Achtung Cthulhu campaigns that have come out, kind of as one big, great, long, epic, you have to make sure that everything plays out as it did historically. So, like D-Day plays out as it did historically, but there's also other things going on. Forest of Fear is the Battle of the Bulge, but the action is still going to revolve around the Ardennes and what happens there, and it's kind of set in stone. So that's the one thing that just kind of is a stumbling block, I should say, with role-playing games that are set within a specific historical period, and they're looking to still stick with what happens historically. Kevin King says, what's fun is when you have 2 D20s to roll and the GM is requiring 3 successes. Nice. DB Moffat is joining us in chat. Welcome aboard. I think it might be the first time that we've had DB pop on in, so make yourself comfortable. If you have popped in before, I apologize. I just don't recognize the nickname. On to our next news piece. There is an interesting looking crowdfunding project over on BackerKit for a Dungeon Crawl Classics compatible horror role-playing game. It's funding for Wayward Studios. And I've got the skinny on Horror Cinema Classics, otherwise known as HCC. Get it? Like DCC? Step into the chilling world of Horror Cinema Classics, a role-playing game that plunges players into the eerie, neon-lit nightmares of 1980s horror movies. In this cinematic adventure, players known as actors embody iconic archetypes of 80s movies, from monster hunter to warrior priest to desperate scientist. They confront the darkness, an ancient malevolent force twisting reality and unleashing monstrous terrors upon our world with an ultimate purpose shrouded in mystery. The characters will battle with B-movie horrors with chainsaws, clawed hands, or mysterious powers, all while listening to synth pop or hair metal music on a boombox. With its foundation in the popular Dungeon Crawl Classics game engine, Horror Cinema Classics challenges actors to hold back the darkness while battling to preserve their humanity. Will you be the one to rewrite the script, or fall victim to the horrors waiting in the shadows. A mysterious force known as the Darkness has overtaken the land. An alien life form? Cold War era nerve gas? Ancient Sumerian curse accidentally unleashed upon the world? No one knows. What is known is that all those slashers, horrors, and monsters of the best scary films of the VHS era are now unleashed upon the world. Player characters begin their lives as 0 levels. We call them extras. You'll have fun and enriching job titles such as math nerd, insurance agent, gas station clerk, police officer, or music video director. I think one of those doesn't fit. I think the police officer is probably a little ahead of the others. All as well equipped to fight the looming forces of evil as your average 80s B-movie extra. 0 level funnels in HCC called a flick are all about survival, and many won't. But what if all your freaks and geeks die in the first scene? Well, thankfully, there's always another troop of Q-Mart employees just waiting in the wings. This project is fully funded over on BackerKit. You can reserve a copy of the hardcover with PDF for a $60 pledge. If you want to score just the PDF, you can do so for a $40 pledge through my birthday, October 24th. Expected fulfillment is the 4th quarter of next year. There you go. Very nice. I thought this looked kind of cool. It's a horror game that's, bringing to life the 80s kind of slasher films, horror films, using DCC. Kevin King says, for the funnel, you have to play in a Roger Corman film. When you're level 10, you've moved up to Stephen King? Question mark. Actually, I would think Roger Corman would probably be like level 5. Level 0 would probably be those, what the hell do they call them? Damn, I'm trying to remember. There was a specific turn for movies that were like just bloody for no reason at all, and it was from like the late 60s, early 70s. Damn. It's on the tip of my tongue too. Rats. But no, it is not like grindhouse movies, because a little bit different. Although they would play in grindhouses. But yeah, this sounds pretty cool. This looks pretty good. I like the artwork. I like the color art of the they look like they're, high school kids, maybe a little bit older for the guy standing in the middle. There you go. Herschel Gordon Lewis. That would be 0 level. That would be a 0 level. One thing I will mention, I think it's a little too pricey on that PDF. $40 for a PDF on a crowdfunding project? Ooh. It would have to be like, like 400 or 500 page book, which I do not think it is. All right, let's finish up the news tonight, because now in print from Ex Machina Games is the Ultra Modern Bestiary for 5e. Here's the latest. Science fiction, horror, and modern monsters for 5e D&D. Over 440 futuristic and fantastical creatures await, collected from the entire Deus Ex Machina catalog. From rogue robbers, from rogue robots. Yeah, it's going to be one of those nights, huh? From rogue robots and cybernetic horrors to alien entities and high-tech war machines, the ultra-modern bestiary brings cutting-edge threats to your 5th edition game. This massive tome includes hundreds of full-color illustrations, robots, mechs, and vehicles, extraterrestrial horrors, fantasy monsters, tactical encounters, and lore. Upgrade your game with the Ultimate Science Fiction Monster Collection. This 455-page hardcover with PDF carries an MSRP of $61.99 over at DriveThruRPG. If you want to just get the hardcover, it's $2 less. It's $59.99. That's why I mentioned the price with the PDF. If you want to grab just the PDF, it is available for the very nice price of $19.99. Gotta say, very, very cool artwork that we're seeing. This is another company that kind of flies under the radar, but they're pretty well known for ultra modern, which is, of course, modern setting or future as well. And it utilizes the 5e D&D mechanics. All right. So Keith Olu says Al Adamson would probably be 6th to 8th level. No Limelight Productions says slasher films. No. Funny enough, the term I'm thinking of evolved from what did they used to call them? Nudie cuties, where they would have, topless girls and stuff, which of course, you didn't see in movies at that point. And then they got kind of nasty. And then they got even nastier. DB's like splatter, wet gore. Now it's kind of an oddball name. I don't know. I might try to find it during the brief intermission. All right. That is it for the news tonight. Of course, I mentioned DriveThruRPG a few times. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit DriveThruRPG, Storyteller Vault, Wargame Vault, Dungeon Masters Guild, any of those One Bookshelf sites, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you like the video, if you dig the channel, if you find the Gaming Gang to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, there are a couple of other ways that you can help support the outlet. First, by making a one-time donation by way of PayPal. Hell, you can buy me a 2-liter bottle of soda. Lovely. I needed to wet my whistle there. Or you can also become a monthly member of our Patreon. And during every live show, or I at least try every live show, to give a shout out to our Patreon members. At our $5 tier, we've got Gustavo Cavallo, my good pal from way back. Well, not like when I was a child, but when I first started the Gaming Gang. Herman Lutman, designer extraordinaire. Jason Lawman, Caval, Kevin R. Smith, Max Apocalypse, Sean O'Donnell, and Talzek. We've got our $10 tier members, Dan Webb, GameCat, Kevin King, Pete Straklich, RPG Munch, Tessie Trekkie, and Tier 2 DM. And then our $25 tier, Agile Monk, Flint Fireforge, and the Madman. Thank you very much to all of you. All right, I believe we've had some folks pop into chat. Let's see who we've got. So I already mentioned DB. So they were trying to help me out with the type of movie. And Mark Hawkswell is with us. J Man has also popped on in, as has Zero Theory. And I do believe that might be a first-time visit for Zero Theory. Then again, if you've been here before, I apologize. Lots of different nicknames popping, coming and going, so I don't necessarily always remember everybody. I try my best. No Limelight Productions asks, where can I find your Discord link? So down in the show notes is where you'll find this stuff. So when you take a look at the video page, Usually it'll start talking about what is the show about or what is the video about. Then you'll always see like read more. Click on that. That's going to open up everything below. That's where the show notes are. That's where you'll find the link to our Patreon, PayPal link if you want to make the one-time donation. If I'm covering something that's available on DriveThruRPG, like tonight, as I'm going to be taking a peek inside Black Powder and Brimstone, there will be a link to DriveThruRPG with that. And our Discord server invite link is there as well. And of course, our Discord server is absolutely free for you to sign up for. So you can hang with the gang, absolutely free. There are some members only channels there, and that is for our members on Patreon. But I will be the first to tell you, it's not like you're missing a ton, right? So I usually post a lot of stuff where like the freebies and things like that. We do have like a, members only discussion area. So, but by all means, yeah, check out the Discord. I post, the latest news and stuff like that. And, people share things that they encounter. I actually really love when people start sharing stuff that I'm not aware of. Daryl Errett's with us. Good to see us. That they're curious about Black Powder and Brimstone. Well, like I said, we'll be taking a peek at that this evening. But before I do, I need to reveal our winner for last night's contest, because we took a peek at Old Gods of Appalachia, and this looked really cool. And I'm giving away a PDF of the rule book here. And it was pretty easy. I kind of did the same thing as I always do, which I'm doing something different tonight as far as the contest. So keep that in mind. Throwing a curve. Anyway, I was going to say that all you had to do was thumb up the video, be a subscriber, leave a comment, and I randomly selected one of those folks. And our winner of the PDF of Old Gods of Appalachia. Wonder if anybody's going to go, hey, that's not how it's. Which is from Monty Cook Games, is Tier 2 DM. They are the random winner. So all you need to do is email Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com from your email address, which is associated with your YouTube account, which would be Google. So it's from your Gmail that you're tied into on YouTube. Shoot me an email, and I will get the copy of the PDF to you ASAP. Tonight, I am also going to be giving away a PDF of Black Powder and Brimstone. I am going to do my damnedest to try to get more contests practically. No, okay. My aim is to do it almost on a nightly basis. Almost. So we will see. We will see how that goes. So I will be giving away a PDF of this. I might as well tell you how you can get into the running for that. So got to thumb up the video, although, I can't tell if somebody did it or not. Wow, there is a pretty large spider heading on down from the ceiling. Thankfully, they're not anywhere here, and it won't end up near me unless it crawls along the floor. Get off me! Get off me! Anywho. All right, so just thumbs up. Please be a subscriber, and I would like you to go to thegaminggang.com and leave a comment on any post. Any post whatsoever, any news piece, any video, any of that. Chris Ligner says, bummer, that'd be perfect for Halloween. Normally when the spiders come down, like in front of the camera, it's just a blob. DB says, Chef, dude, it's a good thing you don't have arachnophobia. There's a lot of spiders in the duct tape studios. That's why sometimes I will refer to this as the kingdom of spiders or kingdom of the spiders. But for the most part, this spring and summer has really not. Because what I learned to do is spray mint. So spray some mint around because it doesn't hurt the spiders, but they don't like it. So they vamoose or they won't enter into it. I'm like, okay, cool deal. All right. So once again, in case it was kind of discombobulated how you can get into the running to win a copy in PDF, I'll mention this again at the end of the first look. All you got to do, thumb up the video. So give the video a like, be a subscriber, and then visit thegaminggang.com and leave a comment from your Gmail account that's tied into YouTube on any of the posts, anything you see. If you see a news post that looks cool, hey, that looks really good. I'd like to check that out, or whatever, right? Or a video, whatever. And then I am going to randomly select a commenter at 6 p.m. Central tomorrow. So once again, I don't want to screw over the people who don't have an opportunity to watch live, because I know a lot of folks tend to watch the show like midnight, 1 o'clock, maybe even earlier or later in the morning. So you have until 6 p.m. tomorrow. And remember, it is thegaminggang.com. Easy enough. Easy enough. Chris Langren says, wife says she prefers a spider to a damn roach any day. I am right with you on that. Luckily, I have never lived any place that had a lot of roaches. I've encountered a roach here and there over the years, but I had a friend in high school. Someone who is related to them watches the show from time to time. So I'm not going to mention who it is because, it's nasty. But when I was in high school, I would stay at their apartment in Chicago, and they were down in, my family lived on the northwest side of Chicago. So we weren't real urban. We had, houses that had little apartments upstairs that people would rent out, things like that. They weren't like, 4 flats or what we would refer to as like a 3 flat. So anyway, he lived in an apartment building, and we would go over, and sometimes some of us would spend the night. Yeah, maybe there'd be 2 of us hanging out with them. And you get up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom, and you flip on the light, and it would be like all these roaches would scatter, and it'd be like, it's like I had a buddy of mine, his whole family were police officers. He became a police officer. His brother also became a police officer. And I remember his mom telling us a story when we were in high school that she went into some apartment and this woman was cooking, and she said the wall behind the stove was black, and she thought, what is that, all like from smoke in that? And as she got closer, she noticed the wall was moving. The wall was all cockroaches. I was like, oh, geez. Yes. Stray Kismet's with us tonight. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. So the other thing I wanted to mention before we jump on in to, what's coming next, and then we're going to get into the first look. So last night, I didn't mention it on the show, but yesterday I was kind of thinking to myself, should I go to Gamehole Con? I'm going all by myself. It's not like they've got a decent exhibitor area, but it's, not a lot of people I know. And I mean, there are a few exhibitors who I am friendly with in the industry, and I think Troll Lord Games is going to be there. So I'm sure I can set up an interview with Steven or Grace or Chuck or whoever. And I was still thinking, wow, do I want to spend that money just to go up there and fly solo? Because I already canceled one of the nights. I mentioned this previously. I was going to go up there Wednesday because I like to get to conventions and get there the day before they start. So I can, just ease on in, show up, not be like standing in line to get a pass and crap like that. So anyway, so I'm going to go up. The plan was to go up on Thursday. And I'm like kicking it around. I'm like, and then I get a text from my nephew, Cameron. And because I had told him, I said, if you wanted to go up there, because the original plan was maybe to have him come up for a couple of days and hang with me, because it's only a 2-hour drive, Madison, Wisconsin from us. And I thought maybe he could come up like Thursday, Friday. Maybe Elliot could come up Friday, Saturday, or maybe Saturday, Sunday, whatever. And then Elliot said, no, I couldn't really make it. Can't do it. And my nephew was like, well, I have to find out what my schedule is before I can do so. And I said, I was like, well, I guess he's not going. Well, he texted me and he said, hey, yeah, I can go. So it's going to go at least Thursday, Friday. So I was like, okay, well then I'll go. But yeah, it was kind of funny. I was like, should I? Cause it's like, it's going to cost $500 with the room and food and things like that. So I was like, Chris Leonard says they're running an RPG at a convention for the first time this weekend. They're nervous. They've run miniatures, but never an RPG. Yeah. Don't worry about it too much. Anyway, I'm getting some comments here that it's saying you don't have permission to post a comment. All right. I think it's a stupid thing that I've got. So I will look to take care of that. I will look to fix that. Anyway, so tonight we're going to dive in. We're going to take a look at Black Powder and Brimstone from Free League Publishing in just a few moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
Halloween is coming, my favorite holiday. I give my friends something special. Nestle bars. They're made with real milk chocolate. And in the spirit of the season, here's what Nestle is doing for me. I get a $1 refund with every 2 specially marked Nestle mini bags and $1 worth of coupons in every specially marked Halloween pack. There are my friends now.
Oh!
You scared me.
Nestle bars!
Get real savings on real chocolate from Nestle.
McDonald's has a monster of an idea. Happy Halloween certificates. A book of 10 is only $1. Your gang can turn them in for free dessert treats like cones and sample-sized sundaes at McDonald's. Each book also comes with a mail-in certificate for this free Roger Rabbit when you buy your video cassette of the smash hit Who Framed Roger Rabbit. McDonald's Happy Halloween certificates. A deal so good, it's eerie.
With the tranquility of rural England shattered by civil war, evil was spawned at a time of strife in the land.
Take him, Stern. Look for the devil's marks upon him.
Right. Help us, you two.
Hounding the innocent in violence and terror, this evil man showed no mercy in the pursuit and interrogation of his victims. He was called the Witch-Finder General. And amidst the horror of the witch hunt, a story of tender young love.
Didn't your uncle just say you must early to bed?
He did.
And isn't he a wise man?
He is.
But even their innocence is cruelly corrupted by the vile touch of the Witch-Finder General.
My motive in coming here was to find the truth.
Vincent Price is the Witch-Finder General. Lust and greed were his only gods.
The money from the magistrate. 9 guineas in silver.
Good. Now we can leave.
Ian Ogilvy as Richard Marshall. He stood alone against the forces of devilish destruction.
And 'tis in thy sight, O Lord, that I hereby swear I shall not rest from the pursuit of his murderers till they stand before thee, ready to answer to thee for their sins.
Rupert Davies as John Lowes.
Master Marshal, welcome.
Patrick Wymark as Oliver Cromwell.
Amongst the most pleasurable aspects of victory, gentlemen, is the opportunity it affords to reward valor. It ranks almost with good food.
And Wilfrid Bramble.
And what line of business might you be in?
God's business. Witch finding.
Witch finding. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
And introducing Hilary Dwyer as Sarah. Filmed in authentic detail and photographed with piercing realism against the actual background of peaceful villages and quiet countryside. Never has England looked so beautiful, yet been so violent.
I'm your man friend. John Stern, they call me.
Man's inhumanity to man portrayed on the screen so vividly that you flinch, so real that you too will fear the Witch-Finder General. Be the first to see it, be the first to talk about it. The Witch-Finder General.
If I may recommend, if you're ever feeling like too happy, things are going too well, sun is shining, birds are sweetly singing, you want to bring yourself down, by all means, watch Witch-Finder General. Because that trailer's bullshitting you, folks. Hey, I'm not saying it's a bad movie or anything like that. It's actually pretty decent. But what a downer. Nobody comes out in the end well. And interestingly enough, it is loosely based on an Edgar Allan Poe tale, but that is not a Roger Corman, Vincent Price Poe movie. Yes. In fact, didn't Roger Corman do The Conqueror Worm? Didn't he make that film with Vincent Price, which is quite different? I also think, if I remember correctly, the director of Witch-Finder General committed suicide a few years later. Strangely enough, that's kind of odd. Anyway, but yeah, it's not a bad movie, but it kind of jumped to mind because of what we're looking at tonight, which is Black Powder and Brimstone from Free League Publishing. This clocks in at, let's take a peek here. I thought it's 99. No, actually, it's got to be more than that. Oh, yeah. 185, I think. Sweet. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Anyway, the 185-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $49.99. If you want to grab just the PDF, you can do so for $24.99 on over at DriveThruRPG. If you order from Free League Publishing, you will get the PDF absolutely free. And of course, if you're tuning in late, I just mentioned I am doing a contest to win a copy of Black Powder and Brimstone in PDF. We'll talk about that when we're done with the first look. So let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got Black Powder and Brimstone. For some reason, when I say that, I feel like saying bed knobs and broomsticks. The role-play game. Yes, quite different vibe for this than that. Anyway, before we dive on in, I do want to mention that my friends over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this first look with you. It's important you know that. And of course, we're not going to look at each and every page, but I do want to give you a good feel for what you're going to find inside. Then I'm going to take a guess. There's probably some adventures in here, maybe some adventure nuggets. So if you're a player and your game master has picked this up, maybe they haven't started running this yet, or maybe they're talking about picking this up. Keep in mind, even though I have not taken a peek inside this, we're probably going to see some things that spoil some of the surprises within. So I'm just letting you know. All right, let's take a look at the back here. Wow, that is some seriously small font. Religious factions war for dominance in a land beset by monsters and demons. Ruthless mercenaries ply their bloody trade and bring money to the... No, misery. I was going to say money. Why the hell would they be bringing money to the common folk, while the rich and powerful... What the hell? Brood in their castles and perform vile rituals and experiments. But amongst the chaos of war, plague, and destruction, there is gold to be made, glory to be had, and even justice to be delivered. For a price, that is. I had it tilted because I was not seeing it all that well there. Okay. And this is built on the MÖRK BORG engine. Yes, I know. I kind of said it the right way. I didn't say MÖRK BORG. I guess there have been people who are upset that they think I'm disrespecting Sweden by doing MÖRK BORG. Like, all right, relax. Certainly not. It's an inside joke on all of the multitude of pronunciations that we have encountered for MÖRK BORG. I think it's more like MÖRK BORG. It's supposed to be kind of said kind of maybe quickly. All right. So because it is built on that rule system, we are going to see what we tend to see. And that's where we'll essentially have the Game Master screen on both the front and the back. No, we get an index here. It's like, yeah, we get part of it. Looks like this is like, so it'd be this as well as these two. And of course, the rule system is very easy. I'm going to take a guess. This is probably going to be a bit of an art punk sort of style to it. Let's take a look. First of all, let's take a peek at the credits page. Let's make sure that we give credit where credit is due. And it is, oh my gosh. It's kind of funny. So the author, Benjamin Tobit, and there's a pronunciation guide for it. But I know why. All right. In the darkness, a bell tolls. The Vaterlander Empire is being torn apart by war as the Orthodoxy and the Puritans of the Church of Light battle for supremacy and survival. The Puritans seek to destroy the old church, but it says the Puritans seek to destroy the old church, and the Orthodox seek to maintain their control. Other nations from afar pour money and mercenaries into the conflict for their own ends. Stars fall from the heavens, and the outer gods whisper their wants and desires through the ether and the shadows. Demons cavort and despoil. The unquiet dead rise from their graves. Magics great and terrible are whispered in shadow-rich woods, and vengeful ghosts haunt dark forts. All the while, the people of Vaterland struggle for survival against roving bands of mercenaries, bandits, the plague, demons, and demon hunters, and Vincent Price as the Witchfinder General. The bell tolls again, and another dawn breaks. For now. Chris Langner says, so you don't need the main MÖRK BORG rules to play this? No, this is standalone. This is all completely standalone. You see the same thing with like Pirate Borg, Cyborg. They are all standalone books. You do not need to pick up MÖRK BORG. Should I do my goblin laugh that I was doing while I was running the bastardization of Castles and Crusades and Pathfinder on Monday with the gang? Again, here we go. That would change it up too for different goblins so they didn't all laugh the same. Man, my voice was killing me when I finished up. I have the understanding that this is supposed to be an analog of Europe during the 30-Year War, which was a religious conflict. It was supposed to be between Catholics and Protestants, but oddly enough, all of the Catholics weren't on one side and all of the Protestants weren't on the other. So it's kind of weird. Keith Lewis said, kind of reminds him of Renfield in Love at First Bite. You know what? I saw that movie once when it was on ABC when I was a kid. I've never seen that again. Oh, DB is insulting the Swedes. Saying, I thought Swedish was English, but with your mouth full of mashed potatoes. No? It's like, ouch. W4 says, besides, we all know Swedish is just English played backwards. There you go. And you get all the satanic, references too. Mike asks, can I get that laugh as my ringtone? Yes, some folks are popping on in talking about how the Cubs won. I did see that. I went and checked that out during the brief intermission. I got rid of that stupid plugin that was blocking people from commenting and moved the spider who was hanging. I was busy. I was busy while you guys were enjoying those trailers and stuff, those ads. So, Spelling Mistake is with us tonight. Welcome back. Good to see you. All right, so this is Dresden. Supposed to be a take on Dresden, no doubt. I kind of like how we've got the little bits of artwork. Almost gives it a graphic novel feel. Here we got the countryside. The city of Purity. The city of Purity was built on the foundation of a much older settlement founded by an ancient pagan culture, slowly conquered and consumed by the Church of the Sacred Blood. Purity became a shining beacon of the Holy Faith, second only to the Holy City in the Vatican, the seat of the High Master. It is now choked with refugees that are routinely turfed out to the outer walls, lest they despoil the gold-lined streets. Well, that's nice. Mighty small font here. I mean, I can read it. I mean, if I was holding the book at a normal, distance, I'd be able to read it okay. But yeah, that's a pretty damn small font. So we've got Lostman's Mire. So it looks like we're going to start off with some background about the combatants, about the region, and so forth. Kevin King says MÖRK BORG and Death in Space were both more fun for them to read and look at than to run. Pirate Borg was a blast, though. This one passes the art test for them. I wonder how well it plays. Don't know. I do not know yet. Of course, I will have a review of Black Powder and Brimstone. And no, it will not be a review based on me playing this umpteen times. It'll be reviewed like every other role-playing game reviewer reviews stuff by reading through this. And if I'm up in the air on how something plays out, actually gaming that at the table. But still, we talked about that last night. This isn't a review. You can't review something if you haven't played it. It's like, yeah, okay. W4 says, I thought Jeff said mighty boss tones. Yes. There you go. All right. The cold, the war. War is a constant factor in Vaterland. War. War never changes in Vaterland, especially in the disputed lands between the North and the South. If you see there is a battle raging, it is best to avoid it, as you could easily become a casualty of the fighting, or worse, become dragooned into the service of one mercenary army or another. The armies of the free companies are themselves moving cities of fighters, their families, cobblers, cooks, clerks, seamstresses, stable hands, and sex workers, all working, fighting, and dying for the pay of the holy orders and their financial backers. So far, it seems pretty historically accurate to the 30 Years' War. For being a fantasy game, I don't know. I would say if you needed some inspiration, check out Flesh and Blood. W4 says, why are compass directions always at war? So this is our character sheet, it looks like. Just like so. So we've got strength, agility, presence, and toughness. We'll have feats, or weapons, or armor, spells if you're a caster. This is going to use our full complement of polyhedral dice. As you can see, we're going to get into the rules and playing the game. So optional items you can have are beer, candles, and mead. Kevin King said, Lamentations of the Flame Princess called. They want their edge back. Oh, I would say Lamentations of the Flame Princess is quite a bit edgier than this. So we've got our difficulty ratings. Simple, a 6. Routine is an 8. 10 is a skilled action. 12 is a skilled action in a stressful moment. 14 is difficult but not impossible. And 18 is should not be possible. So first thing you'll do is have the game master determine the difficulty rating. The player then rolls a d20 and adds or subtracts their character's stat modifier from their character sheet. I'm going to take a guess you'll probably assign them. So you'll maybe have a 2, 1, 0, -1. That's my guess. Or it might depend on the class you take. Position and impact. So position determines the outcome of failure. The default position is risky. So you have shaky, not as bad as it could have been, risky, about what you expected, as well as dire, worse than you even imagined. Then we have impact, which determines the outcome of success. The default impact is fair. So we have strong, which goes better than expected. Fair is what you expected. And weak is not exactly what you hoped. It's got rules on negotiations. Got some advanced combat rules. Stealth, morale, fire, prone, attacking from horseback, defending from horseback. We have some chase rules here. But once again, one of the big selling points outside of its art style for MÖRK BORG is the rules light aspect of it. And I will say I completely agree with, was it Kevin? Yes, Kevin King talking about Pirate Borg. Pirate Borg is excellent. Pirate Borg is my favorite of the board games. I wonder if Limithron is going to be at Gamehole Con. I haven't had a chance to really take a peek. I'm probably going to take a look tonight to see what exhibitors are there. I do know that Thunderworks Games will be there because they're out of Madison. And when I talked to Jess Carrier, she said they were going to be there. Pretty sure Troll Lord Games is also going to be there. I do know that Magnetic Press Play is not going to be there. I was hoping they would because I'd love to get to take a peek at that Planet of the Apes RPG. Okay, so we got the Devil's Luck. Something dark watches you with glee from the shadows. Its boons may be invoked for a price. So you might have a dark power. If you activate a dark power, roll a d6. On a 1, you gain a mutation that will mark you as an outsider. Some of these changes can be hidden or painfully removed, but not all of them. It looks like you're going to roll 20-sided die to get some random results there. All right, here we go. Making a character. I do dig the artwork. The artwork almost has a little bit of a Mike Mignola vibe to it. So you're going to get, oh, you are going to roll your stats. Okay. So you're going to get a kit of gear. And you're going to roll 3 6-sided dice. So we are looking at, I do believe, yep, there you go. Roll 3d6. So we will have modifiers from -3 to +3. So 1 to 4 is -3, 5 and 6, -2, 7, 8, -1, 9 to 12, nothing, 13, 14, +1, 15, 16, +2, which of course means 17 and 18 +3. So we got strength, agility, presence, toughness. Gives us kind of keywords so you get a better understanding what those represent. Chris Langren asks, who is this Mike artist you speak of? Anyone want to let Chris know? Or do you want me to do it? I'm sure you are familiar with his most famous character. All right. We'll take a moment. I'll let chat let Chris in on it, or if not, I'll tell him. So we got the mercenary deserter. So they get a +2 for strength, toughness, -1 for agility and presence. Oh no, when they're rolling up their characters. Sean O'Donnell says, Hellboy? Yep. That's exactly it. There's actually a really cool documentary about Mike Mignola. I thought it was really, really nicely done. In fact, after I watched it, I started reading the Hellboy graphic novels. So I was like, yeah, I've always liked Hellboy. It's like, but I never actually checked out the comics. They're actually really well done. Yeah, the art style is not exactly my sort of comic art, but it's solid. All right, so we got the Rifleman. Oh, what? That's not Chuck Connors? Yeah, that is a deep cut, everybody. That is super deep cut. Great Swordsman, Grenadier. So it looks as if we get a bit of a breakdown of what the character is. So here we got the Bounty Hunter. So we have the Pistolier. Some bounties are for soldiers and mercenaries who wear the best armor they can find. Pistol shot cares nothing for such defenses. You may re-roll a misfired dice, but you must keep the second roll. You start with 2 pistols, 12 shots, 2 gunpowder pouches, as well as a firearms repair kit. So each of these classes have 3 archetypes, I guess we would say, because I don't think you're playing as... No. So you don't just have a bounty hunter separately. DB says Mignola's comic for Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula is amazing. Everyone should have a copy. I have never seen that. I've seen the movie, obviously, and actually liked it until we got into the whole, oh, look, there's a romance between Dracula and Mina Harker bullshit. It's like, can anybody just make the fucking book as a movie? Why do we always have to have Dracula? Oh, yeah, baby. I'm so sexy. It's like, no, he's a monster. We got the Master Trapper, the Beast Hunter. The Witch provides us with the Woods Witch, as well as the Herbalist and the Heron. Whether you made a pact with a demon or not, it matters none to those who have already made up their minds about you, such as the Witchfinder General. Your existence is a crime. Why not do more? You may curse 1 creature a day that has done you wrong. All tests are an additional -2 on behalf of the creature, and all attacks upon it gain +2. So you've got black candles and a deck of cards. I just say it's kind of a cool ability, but I would hope there's more than that. I think you get to cast spells as a witch. Yep. You had 2 spells. Because I was going to say, wow, it's kind of cool as far as a special ability, but that better not be it. The Opportunist. We've got the Adventurer. Looks like they are carrying a Zweihander. Zweihander. I know. Somebody's going to say, Jeff, you mispronounced that. I probably did, but. The Sneak Thief. And we've got the Silver-Tongued Trickster. You are a lover, not a fighter. That being said, you are sure you could fight off a dozen armed men to save your beloved for that night. Convincing or lying to others gains +2 on a roll. You get to start with a lucky coin as well as perfume. Let's see. What are some of the other things that we've got here? Well, kind of cool. We get some random tables, D6 tables here to kind of give you a feel for what your character wants. Then we got the Practitioner. So I'll take a guess these are more along the lines of holy warriors. So we have Vow of War, Vow of Healing, and Vow of Sustenance. Chris Langer asks, what's my favorite Dracula movie then? Chris says they like the one from 1979, which should mean that would be Frank Langella. I gotta be honest. I don't think to this point anybody has made a Dracula movie that has done justice to the book. I think the closest thing, and I'll be completely honest, I've never seen the entire run, but I know this was on PBS here in the States. So I'm guessing it was BBC, and they did like I think it was 4 or 6 part Dracula. And that was probably from the mid to late 70s. That was pretty much, I saw a couple episodes. It was pretty much in step with the actual book. Because the book is actually really cool. I mean, it's actually really nicely done. Steven from Roll for Combat is popped in with a wise ass choice. Mel Brooks's Death. It's Death and Loving It. I thought it Dead and loving it. Dracula Dead and loving it. Was that Mel Brooks? I don't know if that was Mel Brooks. It might be. Yeah, it's very possible. That's another movie I actually haven't seen. I'm not one of these people who like Airplane. I think Airplane is just an absolute classic. Movies like Top Secret, I'm not one for like really silly comedies. I like goofy stuff, but not where it's like just completely like, well, I guess I can't say that because I love Airplane and Airplane is just so out of whack. Enough of this red zone shit. Yeah, another deep cut. Another deep cut. All right, so we're taking a look at leveling up. So I guess this is how you have a connection to another character in your group. That's cool. Something else with MÖRK BORG is that you have a lot of random tables. And they're like, Pirate Borg does a really, really good job with the random tables. You know, so does Cyborg. I like Cyborg too. Funny enough, my least favorite of the Borg games that I have had an opportunity to review is the original. You know, because for one, I'm not a big grimdark fan. I don't mind dark fantasy. I like dark fantasy. Grimdark. Yes, Stevie Moffat says, Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious. And stop calling me Shirley. So, Jimmy, do you like gladiator movies? You ever hang around a gymnasium? I think one of the best parts of Airplane is that you've got these actors who you would never expect in a comedy, like Peter Graves, Robert Stack, and Leslie Nielsen, because before that movie, Leslie Nielsen wasn't in comedies. Leslie Nielsen was the captain of the Poseidon, and he was the captain of the ship in Forbidden Planet. And that's one of the things. Oh, and Lloyd Bridges, another guy. You are not thinking, oh, yeah, this is going to be just silly and goofy with these guys. I remember I saw that movie twice in one day. When I saw it at the theater over near my uncle's house. And then I went over there and I checked to see if my cousin was home, and he was. And I was like, dude, you got to see this movie. It's hysterical. He's like, yeah, I got nothing going on. Come on. So he went and saw it. Went right back over to the theater for the next showing. All right. So we're not here to talk about Airplane. We're actually here to talk about Black Powder and Brimstone, which, stay tuned. I will tell you how you can get into the running to win a copy of this in PDF. I will be revealing the winner on tomorrow's live show. Yes, Keith Ulu and Lloyd Bridges. I picked the wrong week to quit smoking / drinking, taking amphetamines, sniffing glue. Right. And let's see. Kevin King says their wife has an ancestor from Bistritz, where Harker stayed in the book on his way to the Count. So I accuse her of being part vampire. All right, so we've got our weapons here. So yes, so we do have our Zweihänder. It is a D10 damage. I would expect that. Small dagger, club, sword, barbed whip, flail. Nice. Nice. Get into our armor. So we have light armor, which does minus D2 damage. Medium armor minus D4 damage, and heavy armor minus D6 damage. So my guess is when you would take damage, you're going to roll that die and deduct the total, your result from whatever damage you take. Kevin R. Smith mentions Leslie Nielsen was a master of the deadpan delivery of ridiculous lines. Just like, I actually saw the new Naked Gun. I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right. There were a couple of scenes where I was like, oh, classic. And I love at the end, if you remember the original show, which amazingly enough, I think only aired, 6 episodes before it was canceled. They would have this flashing light that would be, on top of an old police car and a siren going off. And it would be like going all over the place. And it was like a POV from and all you saw was like the flashing light and you heard the siren, and some of the places that it pulled into was just hysterical. Kevin King says this looks to be much more robust than MÖRK BORG. Yeah, looks pretty solid. Here's our Game Master section. So a discussion of the rules. One thing I will say so far, I have not seen anything where the artwork makes it far more difficult to actually read the text. That's something that a lot of the art punk games out there and adventures and supplements and stuff drive me up the wall with, because, and then sadly, there are a lot of times that we do see art punk stuff where it's more about the art than it is about the game. And it's sort of like, I gotta be honest, if you're selling this as a game book, you should focus on the game part and then go from that. I will say that some of the fonts are not the easiest to make out. I mean, this is fine. But up here, location. Okay. Just takes a second. So we've got some names for inns. I'd say there's a lot of artwork in here. I'm really surprised. We got some treasure. Or bestiary. Mutants. Fear the mutant. DB Moffat said they also had double titles for the episodes, one in text on the screen and another mentioned by the narrator. Oh my God, that's right. That's right. It's funny because there are a good number of gags in the first Naked Gun movie, which are kind of lifted from episodes of Police Squad. It's kind of like, oh, okay. But I mean, so few people actually watched Police Squad when it originally aired. So it was all new to them. And Kidula points out all the guest stars bit the dust before the end of the opening credits. Yes. So we've got some of the NPCs from the Orthodox. We also have the Holy Church. Got Night Folk, cults, Lost Soul, a Dryad. That which stalks. Folk thought these creatures to be merely myths. Stories meant to scare the children into behaving. But now mercenary companies are reporting whole groups of fighters disappearing at night. Their broken bodies found the next morning hanging from the trees. Dun, dun, dun. So as you can see, we also have very, very small stat blocks for the creatures and NPCs and such. Skipping through some of that. So we've got quite a few entries there. We've got the staggering pox because, yes, You can't do a fantasy version of the 30 Years' War without some sort of plague. So you have effects of these staggering pox. Villains, friends, and adversaries. It looks like these are Lord Flash. Oh, jeez. No way. Is it? Let's see. Damn, once again, this font here is just so small. A ruthless and dashing adventurer. Was it hailing from the rainy isles of Britannia? Oh, Lord Flash. Oh, that's great. That is, I've got a cunning plan, me lord. Sweet. All right, the Pale King. Looks like we got an adventure. And then, funny enough, the paper stock changed to a very matte finish. I got to say, production quality, really, really nice. D.B. Moffat says they remember an episode of Police Squad where the guest stars Lorne Green, and he tumbles out of the car with a knife in him. All right. So it appears that our adventures are just made up of just encounters and set pieces. That's fine. It's like we get a map of a church here. So yeah, this kind of has, as far as the adventure layout, has a little bit of an old school Essentials sort of vibe to it without actually getting into, well, it's not necessarily always like read aloud, but sometimes with OSC adventures, we'll get the bullet points of, what the player characters see or smell or whatever. Keith Lewis said there's one where William Shatner avoided getting shot but died from having his drink poisoned. And yes, he was in Naked Gun 2. Or not Naked Gun 2. He was in Airplane 2. All right. This looks pretty interesting. I'll get a kick out of reading through this. Even though it's got, damn, that font is just, it's not super tiny on all the pages, but some of them, all of a sudden, it just gets like really small. DB Moffat says, I find the small fonts annoying too, but then I refer to the PDF and zoom in on the page, which is great if you're actually getting a PDF with your purchase. So if you don't get the PDF, well, then you're going to be kind of out of luck. But, I get it. This is an A5 sized book. So they are trying to squeeze in as much content, it appears, as possible, as well as much artwork as they possibly can. So once again, this is Black Powder and Brimstone from Free League Publishing. The 185-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $49.99. That includes the PDF if you order from Free League Publishing. If you want to just grab the PDF alone, you can do so for $24.99. I am also giving away a copy of Black Powder and Brimstone in PDF. So if you want to get into the contest, it's pretty easy. It's going to be a little bit different than last night. It's a little different than the usual contests. So, got to be a subscriber to the channel. Thumb up the video. Now, I always tell you, I can't tell if you did or not, but, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Give it a little thumbs up. Now, I will usually ask you to comment on the video. Tonight's doing a little bit different. So what I'd like you to do is, using your same Gmail account that's connected to YouTube, what I'd like you to do is go to thegaminggang.com, our home website, and comment on any post there. It can be a news piece, can be a video, what have you. Now, you've got until 6 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, because then I will randomly select someone who has left a comment on the website, and I will award them with Black Powder and Brimstone in PDF. And as I mentioned, if you tuned in a little bit late, I'm going to do my best to get as many contests out there as I can. Best I can do are PDFs, folks. I will say a lot of folks have been using the affiliate link for especially DriveThruRPG. So I can turn around and use those funds to purchase PDFs. Or, you know, sometimes I get PDFs with review copies. So I don't need the PDF, so I can award the PDF to somebody. So I do that as well. But just like I had somebody said, oh, hey, could you, a comment on a video. They were like, oh, hey, I'd be really interested in learning about XYZ role-playing game. Could you review that? It's sort of like, well, the publisher wants to send me a copy, sure. Because, you know, I think most people who follow the outlet, watch the videos and that, you know, our budget is like minuscule. So, and most of it goes towards attending conventions and stuff. So to bring you more coverage of your favorite companies. So that's, yeah. So I just can't go, oh, there's plenty of games out there. I'm like, man, that looks great. It's like, oh, well. All right. So tomorrow, we're going to head back to the old gods of Appalachia. And we're going to take a peek at Dig Your Own Grave. Is this a supplement or is it adventures? So we get some new backgrounds, some new non-player character connections, new descriptors and foci. So it is a supplement. I want to say, I think there's 3 supplements on the horizon. Or no, is that, I know there's stuff on the horizon for the Magnus Archives. I thought there was stuff coming for Old Gods of Appalachia as well. Anyway, I will be giving away a copy of this. And because it is a supplement, tomorrow's contest will also include a copy of the rule book, which I just gave away a copy of today to Tier 2 DM. Sweet. All righty. So that is it for this time out. Yay, Cubs won. They stay alive for another day. I got to be honest, I wasn't expecting them to get past the Brewers. Had the best record in baseball. Not that it was a huge difference. A lot of stuff's work against the Cubs. Best pitcher is hurt. So Cade Horton, who probably isn't running for Rookie of the Year, cracked rib. So it's like, oh, well, there you go. There goes our best pitcher. Thanks a lot. It's like, all right. Anyway, hey, the Madman's got it good. And although he's not watching live tonight, he's got the Detroit Tigers ace going to the mound, Tariq Skubal. That'd be a good game. So, all right. Anyway, if you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also inform you when I share other videos, such as my recent review of the Magnus Archives. Ooh, scary kid, scary. From Monty Cook Games. If you're watching live, thank you very much. If you watch live and took part in chat, tip of the cap to you. Because not only were you keeping me company, you were also keeping each other company as I was sharing the news or flipping on through the role-playing game book. So it is much appreciated. But of course, I know a lot of folks out there, they don't have an opportunity to watch live. So it doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you for taking time out to watch any of the over 2,300 100 videos here on the channel. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. Yay. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and as always, I certainly hope each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.